My beach operator is telling me that all they can see is an arm sticking out of the sand. They think they have a deceased body.
Buried alive while playing on a beach, struck by a lightning bolt out of a clear blue sky, swallowed whole by an enormous sinkhole that appeared without warning.
It's a little community, even though it's big. Everybody came and helped out.
These are not scenes from a disaster movie. They are real, tragic, and almost unimaginable. Welcome back, and get ready to uncover the spine-chilling, unbelievable stories behind worst ways people have died. Part 5. On October 31st, 2006, 18-year-old Nikki Kat made a decision that altered her family's life forever. That morning in Lake Forest, California, Nikki took her father's Porsche 911 Carrera without permission and embarked on a drive that would tragically become her last. At a young age, Nikki faced significant health challenges. When she was just 8 years old, doctors discovered a benign brain tumor that, while treatable, required intensive radiation. This treatment saved her life but came with long-term consequences. Medical professionals warned her parents, Christos and Leslie, that the treatments could impair Nikki's impulse control and judgment as she matured. The day before the crash, Nikki used cocaine, a detail that later surfaced during the investigation. That morning seemed normal. Her father left for work, Nikki smiled at him from the couch, and life carried on as usual. But just 10 minutes later, Leslie saw her husband's prized Porsche speeding out of the driveway with Nikki behind the wheel. Nikki's inexperience with the high-powered vehicle proved fatal. She drove onto the 241 toll road, reaching speeds of over 100 miles per hour. Losing control of the Porsche, she clipped another vehicle, crossed the median, and slammed into an unmanned concrete toll booth. The accident was so gruesome, the coroner wouldn't allow her parents, Christos and Leslie Katsouras, to identify their daughter's body.
Head was more or less cut in two and sort of cleaved and then smashed.
As if the tragedy weren't devastating enough, the aftermath compounded the family's pain. The California Highway Patrol, CHP, photographed the accident scene as part of routine evidence collection. These graphic images, meant to remain confidential, were leaked by two CHP officers, Aaron Reich and Thomas O'Donnell. What followed was a nightmare. The images spread like wildfire online. Anonymous internet users created fake tribute pages for Nikki, only to upload the horrific photos. Some even sent the pictures directly to the Katsouras family with cruel taunts, forcing them to retreat from the digital world. Determined to seek justice, the Katsouras family filed a lawsuit against the CHP for negligence, invasion of privacy, and infliction of emotional harm. As the Los Angeles Times reported, the case resulted in a $2.37 million settlement in 2012. The CHP also issued a formal apology to the family, acknowledging the profound emotional damage caused by their employees' actions. On a fateful Saturday afternoon, March 14, 2015, the lives of three young friends were cut tragically short in Louisville, Kentucky. Cheetah Chuan, 16, Sukhman Rai, 19, and Nagan Thapa, 17, were passengers in a car that made a fatal error at a railroad crossing. Despite flashing lights and warning sounds, the driver of their vehicle attempted to cross the tracks. In a horrifying instant, an oncoming freight train slammed into the car, pushing it nearly half a mile down the tracks. Cheetah and Sukhman, both part of Louisville's tight-knit Bhutanese community, were killed on impact. Nagan Thapa was critically injured and succumbed to traumatic brain injury days later at the hospital. A fourth teen in the car, Kismat Mishra, was also critically injured but survived. Witnesses to the tragic event included several train enthusiasts who had gathered near the tracks for train spotting. These rail fans, equipped with cameras to capture passing trains, instead found themselves documenting a horrific accident. Their footage and testimonies would later prove crucial in the investigation of the incident. One of the train spotters, Sarah Thompson, described the immediate aftermath. "We all rushed to help, but it was clear the impact was devastating. The car was barely recognizable. It was heartbreaking to see those young lives lost so suddenly." On May 28, 2016, what should have been a scenic train ride through Colorado's breathtaking Royal Gorge turned into a tragedy. Leslie Casey, a 28-year-old conductor for the Royal Gorge Railroad, was doing the job she loved when disaster struck. As the train made its return journey to the station, carrying around 150 passengers, Leslie was stationed at the rear of the train. The exact circumstances remain unclear, but as the train reversed, Leslie somehow fell from the moving car. In a horrifying turn of events, the train continued its backward motion, fatally running over the young conductor. Despite the immediate efforts of emergency responders, Leslie was pronounced dead at the scene, just 4 miles from the train depot. Leslie's death shocked the tight-knit community of Canyon City, where she lived with her husband Devin. The couple had met on the very railroad where Leslie lost her life, marrying just 7 months before the accident. On a seemingly ordinary Wednesday in May 2017, 59-year-old Edward Sinot arrived at a job site in Huntington, Long Island, New York. As part of a crew installing a new cesspool, he had no idea of the danger lurking beneath his feet. Around 1 p.m., as Sinot was directing a crane near the excavation site, the ground suddenly gave way beneath him. A massive sinkhole formed, spanning the entire front yard and part of the driveway, wider than 2 cars. Sinot was instantly sucked into the collapsing earth, buried under 15 feet of dirt and mud. In a terrifying moment, another worker nearly suffered the same fate but managed to grab onto some nearby construction equipment, saving himself from being pulled down. For hours, rescue workers battled against time and unstable ground, desperately trying to reach Sinot. Despite their frantic efforts, it was too late. Edward Sinot was pronounced dead at the scene. Sinot is remembered by his family as an unbelievable man who didn't have a bad bone in his body and who loved his family and his job. He left behind a widow, 2 sons, and a grandchild. On July 31st, 2017, the tranquil morning on Ocean City Beach in Maryland was shattered by a gruesome discovery. Beachgoers stumbled upon a chilling sight, an arm protruding from the sand, the only visible part of 30-year-old Ashley O'Connor's body.
My beach operator is telling me that all they can see is an arm sticking out of the sand. They think they have a deceased body.
The Texas native, who had been vacationing with her family, was last seen walking alone on the beach around 2 a.m. Sometime during the night, O'Connor ended up in a deep hole in the sand, likely dug by other beachgoers and left unfilled. Ocean City police ruled O'Connor's death as accidental, caused by sand collapse and suffocation. Investigators believe she may have voluntarily sat in the hole, which was approximately 3 to 4 feet deep. The exact circumstances of how the hole collapsed remain unclear, with Police Chief Ross Bizzuro stating, "How the hole collapsed, she unfortunately is the only person that will know." Ashley O'Connor's untimely death at 30 serves as a somber reminder that even familiar environments like beaches can harbor hidden dangers. On a fateful day in late October 2019, a young Chinese university student, identified only by her surname Deng, set out to capture the breathtaking views from Huashan Mountain in Shanxi Province. Known for its steep cliffs and challenging trails, Huashan is a popular but potentially dangerous destination for visitors. As Deng made her way up the mountain, she shared selfies and photos of her progress with her classmates through WeChat group chats. These images would be the last memories her friends would receive from her. In her quest for the perfect selfie, Dung ventured too close to the edge of one of the mountain's precarious cliffs. In a horrifying instant, she lost her footing and plummeted to her death. The exact circumstances of her fall remain unclear, but the tragic outcome shocked both fellow tourists and the online community. Dung's death added to a growing list of selfie-related fatalities occurring at scenic but dangerous locations around the world. Dung's untimely death serves as a stark reminder that no photograph is worth risking one's life, and that natural wonders like Huashan Mountain demand respect and caution from all who visit. On a late January day in 2014, 36-year-old Rosangela Biavati arrived at Guarujá Beach near Sao Paulo, Brazil, with her family for what should have been a relaxing outing. The sun was shining as they settled on the sand, giving no hint of the danger approaching. Around 3 p.m., the weather suddenly changed. Dark clouds gathered overhead as a storm system moved in rapidly. Rosangela, concerned for her son and nephew playing in the water, began walking towards the sea to call them back to safety. In a cruel twist of fate, as Rosangela moved across the beach, a powerful bolt of lightning struck her directly. The strike was so intense that witnesses reported hearing a loud bang and seeing people running towards the sea in panic. Despite immediate efforts to revive her, including CPR administered by fellow beachgoers, Rosangela was pronounced dead at the scene. Her husband, who had been putting bags in their truck, turned around to find his wife lying motionless on the sand. From the shocking strike of lightning to the earth itself opening up beneath someone's feet, these stories are haunting reminders of how unexpected and fragile life can be. Which of these tales shook you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're fascinated by these gripping and unforgettable stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. There's always more to uncover, and you won't want to miss what's next. Stay curious, stay cautious, and we'll see you in the next video.